When I was younger, I thought growing older would feel very different than it actually does. I imagined that by this stage of life, I'd have everything figured out, that I'd feel wiser, more certain, more confident, more grown up somehow. But the truth is, growing older has surprised me. Not because life became worse and not because life became better, but because my relationship with life changed. The things I worry about have changed. The things I value have changed. The things I thought mattered most have changed. And perhaps that's what I've learned. Growing older isn't really about becoming a different person. It's about seeing things more clearly. One of the strangest things about getting older is that time feels both faster and more precious. When you're younger, life feels open-ended and you assume you'll always have time. Time to travel, time to start over, time to make changes, time to become the person you want to be. And then one day you realise that time isn't something you own, it's something you're experiencing, and suddenly ordinary moments become more valuable. A morning coffee, a walk with your partner, with your dog, a conversation, a quiet day with the people you love. The older I've become, the more I've realised that life isn't made up of milestones, it's made up of moments. And perhaps that's something I understood intellectually when I was younger, but I only truly appreciate now. I also thought success would feel different. Like many people, I spent years chasing goals, working hard, building security, trying to create a good life. And I'm grateful for much of what that effort provided, but I also realise something now. Success never delivered the feelings I thought it would, because every achievement quickly became normal. Every milestone became the new starting point. The feeling I was chasing wasn't achievement, it was contentment. And contentment doesn't come from having more, it comes from appreciating what already exists. And that took me a long time to understand. For years, I thought freedom was financial, to be comfortable as you get older and not have to worry. And to some extent it is. Financial freedom matters, of course it does. Choice matters, security matters, and that's what financial freedom gives you. But what I've also learned is that freedom is definitely emotional. Freedom is being comfortable with enough. Freedom is not needing constant approval. Freedom is spending time in ways that align with your personal values. Freedom is being able to say, do you know what? This is enough. And perhaps that's one of the greatest gifts of getting older. You become less interested in proving yourself and more interested in being yourself. I think many Gen Xers are arriving at similar conclusions. We've spent decades adapting, working, parenting, supporting, building, striving, achieving. And now many of us are looking around and asking different questions, not how can I get more, but what do I actually want? Not what should I be doing, but what matters most? And perhaps that's why so many people our age are simplifying life, downsizing, travelling, starting creative projects, moving abroad, reducing expenses, working less. Not because they're giving up, just that they're becoming a lot more focused. They're designing their life around meaning instead of movement. If there's one thing I believe more strongly now than I did 20 years ago, it's this. Life isn't a problem to solve. It's an experience to have. And I think many of us spent years treating life like a project, always improving, always optimizing, always working towards the next thing. But eventually you realize there is no finish line. There's no moment when everything is complete, no point where life finally begins, because life was happening all along. In the ordinary days, the conversations, the relationships, the moments we often rushed through on our way to somewhere else. And perhaps the greatest lesson of aging is recognizing that before it's too late. I don't think growing older has given me all the answers, but it has given me better questions. Questions about meaning, about time, about relationships, about what freedom actually means, about what being present in my own life means. And perhaps that's enough. Because maybe wisdom isn't knowing everything. Maybe wisdom is understanding what truly matters. And if this entire Gen X Reckoning series has taught me anything, it's this. We don't need to have everything figured out. We simply need to be honest about what we've learned. Thank you for being part of this journey, and I genuinely love to hear from you. What has growing older taught you? And if this series has resonated with you, my course, the Gen X Reckoning Companion Journey, brings together everything we've talked through across these 15 videos into something you can actually work through for yourself. You'll find it linked below. And thank you, genuinely, for being here for all of it. In my next video, I reflect on what happened to those dreams you wanted when you finally have time to experience them. I'll see you then.